Welcome back to the BDE Fantasy League podcast. This is week 2. I'm Devin.
I'm Gifford.
And this is our special first guest, Brittany.
Hello.
Our first segment is last week's matchups, the good, the bad, who won, and who lost. First up was Devin versus Scott. In this one, I took a surprising loss.
Upset City.
114 to 120. It was not supposed to be that way.
I know you just hate losing to Scott.
It felt like my heart was getting ripped out of my chest about 3 different times. I'll be honest. Both of us had me winning, so both of us got that wrong. On to the next one. It was Brittany versus Eric. I chose Brittany. Gifford chose Eric.
Yeah.
I got it right by almost 30 points. Brittany completely destroyed Eric. You want to talk about that?
I was not supposed to win because I had a very upsetting 0 point from Cam Akers. He put up 0 points. Unfortunately, Devin was correct in the last podcast. Big ol' 0. Incredibly disappointing. I definitely was prepared to get 10th place at the end of the season because I got 1 0 point. But I did win. Josh Allen was amazing. He put up 37 points. AJ Brown did really well. He did 24.5. All of my receivers did really well. I'm impressed. My team is okay.
And don't forget about the running back, Jamal Chase.
Oh, yes. Fun little disclaimer. During our draft, I had no idea that Jamar Chase was a receiver. I thought he was a running back, and I also thought his name was Jamal.
Yikes.
I am so sorry, Jamar. I think you're a great player.
You have Cordell Patterson on your bench. You'll be just fine. Cam Akers he'll be fine.
Vermont.
So if you're keeping track, I have 1 win, and Gifford has 0 wins right now. Mm-hmm. The next one is Tommy versus Zach. Tommy scored really low this week with 111. However, his opponent, Zach, chose to play J.K. Dobbins, who was injured.
Called it.
After we all reminded him to switch him out.
He did switch him out. Unfortunately, he switched him out from his running back position to his flex position. So he did listen. He just unfortunately misread.
He listened wrong.
He did listen wrong. Zach, what the hell happened there, dude? We called you on the phone. We talked on the phone with you.
We tried to walk you through it.
He played himself.
Unfortunately. An unfortunate injury to Tommy's team was Dak Prescott. He will now be out for several weeks. So you have to look to your backup, who could be serviceable if he doesn't play like he did first week, Matt Stafford.
I'm going to be pretty straight, though. I mean, Zach wouldn't have won anyway with his running backs. I'm so sorry. Single carry didn't score enough. He would not have won with the running backs on his team.
He would have broke the 100-point mark, though.
Yes, he is at 99.38. That's our first double digits of the year.
Rough game.
Unfortunately, but hey, the first week.
Yep. Gifford and I both chose Tommy to win that one, and we both got it right. Congratulations to both of us. Next one is Tatani versus Apple. It was a high-scoring game, the highest-scoring game of the week, 134 to 143. Apple won. Congratulations to Apple. Kyler, Stephon Diggs, Michael Pittman, DeAndre Swift all scored over 20 points, and I fully expect them to continue doing this. On the other side, Tatani, Mahomes carried you, man. Almost 50 points. That's insane. Most of the other players were just not what I wanted from your team.
Judy had one really good catch, right? Oh, no, yes. That's a different guy.
No, that was Judy.
Yeah.
Judy had the long bomb. Mm-hmm.
And that's why he scored 20.
Keenan and Kamara are banged up. Debo fumbled. So, a little concerning.
A little concerning
concerning start to the season. Scoring 134 is a great sign, though.
Oh, yeah. For sure. On a bad week, he's fine.
That was good. You took the L, but you're still in 6th. Week 1, you'll be fine. In that one, both of us chose Apple, so both of us, again, got that one right. The last matchup of last week was Gifford versus Omar, and this one, Omar, he had a chance, but Gifford ran away with it. 164 for Gifford to 133 for Omar. It started out looking kind of close, but then Justin Jefferson came through with almost 40 points, and Gifford didn't look back.
Yeah, going into the third quarter, Terry and Michael Thomas both had less points than Allen Robinson last week. I was worried, and then they both woke up. Glad to pull away with the win. I don't think I've ever won a game on week 1.
Or against Omar. Omar usually gets you.
Omar has my number, so
You did good. You won the top score of the week.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Highest score. In first place, baby. Have you ever been in first place?
Ugh,
In a fantasy league?
Just poking the bear.
No, I'm just
okay.
just asking. I don't know.
So overall, I went 4-1 in the predictions, and Gifford went 3-2. We'll keep you updated throughout the season.
So our next topic is going to be most disappointing players. So how we're going to do this is it's going to be one player from each team, and we're just going to describe how they disappointed the week.
I'll go first. We're gonna start with my team, and obviously, as I said earlier, my disappointing player of the week was Cam Akers. He had 3 rushing attempts and put up no points. Again, hate to say that Devin was right, so I won't say it again. But it
Gifford was also right.
it
Gifford
was
said the
very
same
upsetting.
thing.
It was
Everybody
very
saw it.
upsetting. I named my team after you, Cam. My whole team.
I wasn't expecting that.
Acre
Not gonna
Breaky
lie,
Heart
that's-
is correct. My heart was broken. I was so disappointed. Thankfully, I had Alan
You
kind of
won.
back it up.
You still kicked butt.
I should have
you're
won the
fine.
week.
Like,
It's
up
okay.
next is my team. Aston Eckler was my disappointment this week. He just wasn't the same Austin Eckler from last year. He finished with under 10 points in an incredible performance by Justin Herbert. He didn't show up.
And then going to my team, it's not really, I don't want to say disappointment, but I'm going to say Rashad Penny just because we got the ball rolling early. I watched the game. Of course, as you can see, we watched the game. Oh, we got the ball rolling early and didn't stick with it. We got a little pass heavy and he got kind of lost in the offense. Not concerned at all.
Because Gino's a god. Who wouldn't want him passing 28 times a game? He just wins.
Up next, I'm going to talk about Tommy's team, and his disappointing player of the week was Dawson Knox. He went for 5 yards. He got 1 whole point. It was very disappointing.
He was supposed to be a breakout tight end this year, and Dawson Knox did nothing.
First week, he's fine.
If you want believers, you got to start off strong.
All the passes went to Davis and
Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis.
And Diggsy.
And Diggs, yes, absolutely. Nothing for Knox.
Cook Jalen Ramsey.
Burnt. Up next is Apple's team, and unfortunately, another Chargers player. Mike Williams only scored 2 points. He had 2 receptions for 10 yards, even with Keenan Allen going down on a hamstring injury. This is not what we expected of Mike Williams, especially after his breakout last year. He was supposed to come in, be that guy, but Justin Herbert just kept on going to his tight ends and the backup receivers. Hopefully he bounces back. I see him bouncing back. Apple's team will still be great.
Tatani's up next with Kamara. Very strange game. So the Falcons versus the Saints was very up and down. I experienced it with Michael Thomas. Kamara couldn't get anything going. I think he scored 6 points. Don't quote me on that. For RB1, should be top 5 back in the league. Just not. No bueno. And then poor Sunshine had to deal with Dak playing erratic, getting hurt, and now CD having 2 catches on 11 targets. Unacceptable. And now he has to deal with Cooper Rush. So good luck with that, Eric.
Back to Kamara. Taysom Hill outscored Kamara by quite a bit. That was not what you want to see. Scott's team had Derrick Henry, and I know it from a different league I'm in. He only had 82 yards this week, and that is not what we expect from
21
him.
carries.
21 carries for 82 yards, and that's just not what we have come to expect from Derrick Henry. We don't like seeing that he's being outplayed by his backup, but again, week 1, it's going to happen.
And then going to Omar's team, elephant in the room. I wanted to draft him this year. Allen Robinson, 1 catch, 12 yards. It's going to be a very rough season. It's very eminent that Matthew Stafford is going to force feed the ball down Cooper Kupp's throat. And it seems like it's going to look like that the rest of the season. So we'll see. Not a good start to Allen Robinson. Coming off a disappointing year. And it's going to mess with his confidence.
Yeah, Robinson should have been more featured. His coach came out and said, hey, we're going to get him the ball this week. So who knows what'll happen. We'll see. But I'm not a huge believer right now in that offense.
If they want to keep it predictable, that's fine. They're in our division. Let's keep it that way. So.
Right. Yeah, but Stafford needs to get better. So we'll leave it there.
Yep.
To finish it off with Zach's team, despite Dobbins being started when he wasn't playing, the disappointing player of the week that we picked was Tom Brady. He put up 12 points in fantasy despite a win. He did throw an interception. He had 212 passing yards. He put up 12 points. That's just not what I am used to seeing from. I've never drafted Tom Brady. However, I have always played against him, and I've always lost whoever had Tom Brady because he has always been a pretty good
He's supposed to be a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah.
Every year in, year out. Is Tom Brady washed? Up next, we have our Boom Players of the Week. In this section, we will each be choosing one player throughout the league to be our Boom Player. That means whoever did the best we think was amazing, we want to have on our team, and sometimes we unfortunately do not. In my case, first one I picked was Justin Jefferson. He came on the yard saying that he's going to be the number 1 receiver this year.
Damn right.
And he's off to a great start. What can I say? He ran all over that Packers defense. He showed why he will be the number 1 wide receiver this year.
Yes.
All 5 of the top 5 wide receivers did great. Jefferson was on another level. 9 for 184 and 2 touchdowns. Just some miraculous plays too. Some of them that I couldn't even believe he came down with. Aaron Rodgers was looking over at the Minnesota sideline with jealousy. That's for sure.
Key point. They had the post-game little meetup, and Aaron Rodgers said he's the best player in the league.
In the league.
He told
wow.
him that.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, if you're hearing that from Aaron Rodgers, you know you're doing something right. So that's my Boom Player of week 1.
So the player that I have picked for the Boom Player of the Week was on Scott's team, and I picked Saquon Barkley. I personally am not a huge fan of Saquon Barkley. The years that I was paying a lot of attention to fantasy, he got hurt, and then the next year he got hurt, and he just wasn't someone I've ever really paid too much attention to. He rushed for 164 yards and a touchdown. He caught 6 passes for 30 yards, and he still got 34 points. Like, that is absolutely insane to me.
In addition to all of that, he also caught the game-winning 2-point conversion. He looks like the Saquon of old.
And then my player of the week is Patty Cakes. Patty Mahomes, 30 for 39, 360, and 5 tutties. Insane.
Insane.
We're going back to MVP level Patrick Mahomes. He struggled a little bit last year, a little bit injury prone, but he looks motivated. He doesn't need Tyreek.
No,
He
not
does
at all.
not
And
need
he proved
Tyreek.
it. He threw it to, 9 different receivers, something like that?
Yeah.
And
He's dumping it off.
He showed.
He's doing the underhand passes. He looks like Patrick Mahomes.
He's still that guy. I was wrong in the last podcast.
Why? That you said he's what?
I said that he was not the Patrick Mahomes of old. He absolutely is. And he showed it. And I am a fool for saying so.
But that is my player of the week, Patrick Mahomes.
Great pick.
So this segment's going to be week 2 power rankings.
And again, these are my power rankings, and they are quite switched up this week. So come at me. At number 1, we have Matt Gifford. Wow, congratulations. So proud of you. Do you have anything to say about your placement?
I agree.
Short and sweet.
He took the first place from me. I do agree. Still a little salty, but that's fine.
You just can't argue. When CMC struggled so much and he still had over 160 points, it's clear that Gifford's the number 1 team right now. If we were predicting playoffs, I would lock Gifford in. This team has it.
I felt good about the draft this year,
It's
guys.
good.
I've had some bad drafts.
I'm excited
I
for
feel
this
really
team.
For sure.
At number 2, we have Brittany. Or this week, she is Bills. Oh, sorry. Gifford is Pennywise.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bills. Brittany is number 2. She has Allen, Evans, Chase, and A.J. Brown.
Monsters, man.
A.J. Brown was the surprise for me. Wide receivers on this team are incredible, but A.J. Brown was the one that I didn't expect to do as well as he did. I love Jalen Hurts.
I
And
know
everybody
how much-
knows that.
I know how much you love Jalen Hurts.
But I did not expect AJ Brown to blow up this much.
Really?
I'm really excited for AJ Brown.
I'm
expected it.
excited. I felt very strong about my receivers. Obviously, my running backs need a little bit of work. Just with Justin Jefferson getting so much attention, Dalvin Cook did not get a lot of attention. And I was very disappointed.
A lot of underperforming running backs this week, so that's
Yes.
to be expected. And with Akers on this team, I know that's a hot topic, but she has Cordero Patterson. who showed that he is going to be the same guy as he was last year. This team is going to be fine, even with Cam Akers.
I already switched out Cam Akers and Cordero Patterson on my lineup
you
on
should.
Monday night.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
I was
it's-
done,
yeah.
I was like, all right, that makes sense.
Very smart.
Reading the comments, people are not happy with Cam Akers. People are actually very mean.
No, this is a solid team. That's why they're at number 2.
Just to think about it, though, just for this week, Akers is going up against the Falcons. It's a weak team. Might be a good bounce back. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a good game this week.
It might
For
be,
sure.
but he only had 3 carries.
Very concerning. Team number 3 is your 2 favorites over.
Excuse you. Matt Apple. Still Pity City. Are you going to keep that name all year? I guess we'll see. Murray wasn't great. I don't know. We knew that, but for some reason you have a hard on for him.
Oh, wow.
Diggs did great.
Yeah,
Diggs did really
Diggs,
well.
Great job on that one.
I was
Mike
I was
Williams
impressed.
is great. Usually he's great, but he was not this week. Pittman, he was good. It looked like Matt Ryan only had eyes for Pittman,
Wow.
so that was a good pick right there.
Name their wide receiver 2 right now.
Mo Alley Cox.
He's a tight end.
I know.
I didn't know that. I don't know. Anyway.
David Montgomery should bounce back. He'll be fine. Swift, great. We know
Very
that.
well.
Bordering a top 5 fantasy running back.
All right, enough on his
Ooh.
knob. Hollywood Brown, he's again tied to Murray.
Technically
I don't
wide
know.
receiver 1, though.
Yeah, don't be surprised if you start slipping. But right now you are at number 3.
Wait, he's wide receiver 1 until D-Hop comes back, which is on my bench patiently waiting.
At number 4, we have Youngway's Cup Check. Again, you gonna change your name? This is Tommy. He has the breakable Stafford, but
But
he
his
also
Cup-
has Cup, who
Cup was a
showed that
beast.
even when Stafford is broken, he will come through with, 30 points? Something like that? Insane.
We have come accustomed to weekly deep throats of Cup getting that ball.
Maybe I don't understand defensive players
I
in
get what you're
football.
saying.
Why don't they put more people on Cooper Cup?
Cooper Cup's
I
just
don't-
shifty.
Why don't
He's a
Reason-
workhorse.
So to break it down, if we're going into the film room here, the reason why Cooper Kupp gets open so many times, in Justin Jefferson's case, he's stationary. So he's going one-on-one. With Cooper, he runs the line. So the defense is like, who's covering him? He literally will run. He'll go to the left side of the field, right side of the field. It doesn't matter where he lines up.
He can play all over, and he
Yeah.
does. Number 5 is Michael Malone, Omar's team. He has Lamar Jackson, Devontae Adams, who was
That was expected.
serviceable. He got the better end of the Green Bay Vegas trade, I think. Aaron Rodgers is down there sulking, and Devontae is thriving. Other than that, though, he has Allen Robinson and T. Higgins. T. Higgins went down and didn't come back. Allen Robinson looked like he didn't even show up. His
Proved
running
us
back,
wrong. You proved us wrong. Miles Sanders finally did something.
I will tip my hat to that. Miles
Me too.
Sanders came in, he scored his touchdown, he looked pretty good.
13 carries. That's promising. So.
Javonte Williams looked like that guy. He should be the guy in Denver.
But he has, but Butterfingers fumbled.
Melvin Gordon should not be playing every snap that he is.
Why? He's Derrick Henry.
I have Melvin Gordon
He
my
should
first
be-
year in fantasy? It's been a long time.
He was in his-
I'm surprised
He should be a starting
He
running
was in
back
his
on a
prime.
different team.
He was in his prime in 2017.
Hackett is not going to hack it as a head coach.
And then tight end 1.
Number 6, new name, Suck Up On This. Again, we have the godson himself, Jalen Hurts, as my quarterback. Chris Godwin is going to be out for a little while, unfortunately.
Yes.
But Sutton is there. We'll see him get better. I'm sure of it. This week was a very big disappointment.
Very surprising, yeah.
Gabe Davis, he was incredible last week, and
was
I
very
expect
surprised.
more of this. Aaron Jones and Austin Eckler are my 2 main running backs. They were both under 10 this week,
Jeez.
but I expect them to do a lot better, hopefully, next week,
I think there's
because I'm playing that guy, and they need to show up.
Because I'm showing, baby, let's go.
My tight end, also a huge disappointment this week. It was Mark Andrews,
Oh,
and
patience.
he'll be back.
He's a
not worried
slow-
about it.
You know, he's a slow
He's
burn.
slow? Excuse
He's
you.
a slow burn. I've had him fantasy, I want to say 4 years in a row. Loved him every single time.
We call him molasses.
Yeah.
He will be fine. At 7, we have Feeling Thirsty, Scott.
Got the dub over you, though. 1-0. That's all that matters. He got the win. He got the win.
He did well. It was unexpected, I will say, but it was really nice for Scott.
Breaking down his team, Matt Ryan got 20 points. At this day and age, that's good enough for him. Bateman had 1 boom play. Targets are kind of fishy. Did not get that many targets, just one long touchdown. St. Brown got a touchdown there at the end. He started off slow. He didn't start Thielen. He started Deontay Johnson, who did okay.
On paper, he's got such a great team. I'm excited to see what happens with his team as the year goes on.
A little jab this week, Eli Mitchell hurt out a couple weeks.
We'll see how that turns out.
The whole year is going to translate to Henry and Barkley carrying his team to the playoffs. That's his whole year.
He's two solid running backs.
It's definitely possible.
Absolutely.
Every team in this league still has a chance, I think. Even the 10th place, which we won't get to yet. At number 8, we have Tatani with best punter around. QB, we have Patrick Mahomes.
The real QB won.
Almost 50 points. Come on. That's not sustainable. He will drop down, and
drop
Jalen
to
Hurts will
40?
come up. Excuse you.
I think Mahomes is going to do really, really well. I think he's always going to.
I'm tasting a lot of salt over here.
The reason why you are at 8, Tatani, is because Mahomes and Judy kind of just carried you, and you lost.
Mixon is solid.
Kamara was a disappointment. Taysom Hill overtook in that game. He was a running back. He was a tight end. He was all over the field.
As much as I hate to admit this, having Nick Chubb, you're going to have to lean a little bit on Kareem Hunt. And you're going to have to tell Jalen over here to start throwing to Devontae.
Yeah, what was with that? 0 points this week? He had 4 targets, didn't he? And he just didn't do anything. I expect more out of him.
And again, the hype is getting to Pitts. Pitts did not have a good game. Again, I think he had 2 points.
No. And Mariota looked good.
Yeah.
This team, it'll be fine. Again, like he said, switch in Kareem Hunt, and I think your team's rolling.
Which I'm salty. Nick Chubb, because he could have easily had 40 points if he had the touchdowns, but it's cool.
Number 9 is Eric. Still more or less. He has QB Justin Herbert, but again, his QB or his wide receivers are not great.
And it's so sad. It's the potential is like when you see CD, DJ, and DK, it sounds solid.
All 3 of them should be top tier talents, but they showed what it's like when all 3 of them disappoint, and it's not a handsome outcome.
His running backs aren't bad. He's got Hot Honey Lenny and ETN. ETN did well this week, right?
No.
Oh,
Mine
no.
did not.
I'm sorry.
My steal off the bench,
James Robinson stole everything from the upcoming sophomore player, Travis Etienne.
I don't want to crap all over Eric's team right now. But,
but do it.
But do it. So I'm not gonna crap all. I'm very sad. I'm starting to lose faith in DK. I really am. I think his confidence is really like, as a Seahawks fan, like I'm not too happy about that. CD is gonna have a rough year. He's not gonna have a good
Dak's
year.
hurt.
He's not gonna have a good year.
Yeah.
And if Baker can just get his head in the game and feed his top receivers, DJ can be a threat. But I don't know if Baker can do that. So
DJ and CMC were both disappointments with Baker, and they almost won. That's how good this team will be. Baker got a rushing touchdown.
I saw that.
He walked it in. They made a huge. That was one of the games I did watch.
Yeah.
They made a giant path for him, and he would have been stupid to not.
Yeah.
I don't know if he.
I wish Carolina won that game. At number 10, we have Zach's genius team, or Zach. At QB, again, we have Tom Brady. That was our disappointment of the week.
He'll pick it up.
I think one of his big issues on this team is that he has Hill and Waddle. I don't like to draft 2 people from the same team personally, especially in the same position.
I didn't like that either, but
ironically,
Did it work?
it worked last week.
Oh shoot, never
It
mind.
won't work every week, just based on history.
especially during bye weeks. But,
Exactly. That'll come back.
They both
to bite you.
had over 18 points, so I mean, almost 40 points combined.
Waddle
is a
did
win.
better than Hill too.
I'm gonna keep it optimistic for Zach. Mooney will be fine. JT is a weekly 20, 25.
He got like 30 points this week
Oh, he's the best running
on
back
a
in
losing
fantasy
team.
football.
It was crazy.
Dobbins, when healthy, he should be fine. I know
I
we're
hope
shitting
so.
on him. He'll be fine.
I like Dobbins.
And then Waller should be fine. You know what, Zach? You'll
This
be
team
fine.
has potential to not be 10, and that's all you can hope for when you're at 10.
Just
I
please
think
get.
he had a bad week.
I will give you a hint. I really like Jalen Waddle, so you might be able to entice me on something. So yeah, that's our power rankings for this week. Up next, we have our weekly predictions for week 2.
Ooh-wee.
This is going to be rough because first up on the docket, we have me versus Gifford. In this matchup, I'm going to take Myself. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm picking myself to win against the number 1 team in this league because you don't get anywhere without confidence.
With all that being said, in that nice little speech, I'm winning this week, and Devin's going to be 0-2 going into week 3.
This is putting me in a very uncomfortable position, and I didn't know they were playing each other before sitting down today. So
Make the safe pick. Just saying.
Yeah,
Make the safe pick.
So Devin makes it really difficult for people to, because he doesn't set his lineup until right before the game, and so I don't know who he's gonna play. So for that reason, I'm gonna pick Gifford.
Next one, we have Scott versus Brittany. I'm sorry, Scott. Your team didn't perform last week. I gotta go with the trends. Brittany's the number 2 team in this league. I'm going with Brittany.
The fairy tale story ends here. You got the upset last week, and this is, I'm going to go on the record right now, this is going to be a rout. Brittany's going to destroy you this week, Scott.
Bend over.
I'm a win, so I'm going with me too.
The next matchup is Tommy versus Tatani. And this one might actually be a good match. I like these 2 teams. I think that they're pretty well balanced.
This is a tricky matchup.
Yeah, this is a toss-up. However, because Tommy is ahead of Tatani, I am going to go with Tatani.
I'm going to go based off success. I'm going to go off winning. And I'm going to go off smart decisions. And I'm going to say Tommy's going to win this week. He just knows how to lead his team to victory, squeal his way to victory every single week.
Squeal his way.
Yes, squirm.
Oh, yeah. I think Cooper Cup is going to do very well this week, which makes me want to vote for Tommy. But looking at Tatani's team on paper, Tatani has a really good team. I think they just had a really unfortunate week, and for that reason, I'm going to pick Tatani.
I like it.
Hoping for a very upsetting match. I'm hoping Tommy does not score well. I want to see a blowout. I want to see somebody
Tommy.
win by like 80 points.
I'm on your side,
Yeah,
Tommy.
sorry, Tommy.
I think you're going to win, Tommy.
Our next one is Eric versus Apple. And looking at the standings, this is our number 2 team versus our number 9 team in the league. And I'm going to keep it that way. I think that Apple is going to win this week. Eric, your team is okay, but I put it 9th in the power rankings for a reason. It just doesn't compare to a team like Mad Apple, unfortunately, right now. Later in the season, it might change.
It definitely is going to change. I think Apple is going to start to feel the effects of when Brian Robinson comes back and some of these other guys come back and takes a dip at his production. But this week, Apple's going to win. Eric, your receivers are just so concerned. I can't overlook that. I think Apple takes it this week. I really like Eric. I don't want to talk bad about Eric.
No, get him.
No.
I'm going to jump on the trend here. I do think Apple is going to win. I think his team is just better, at least for the time being, until people get hurt. And then Apple's going to be freaking out. But I think for this week, for week 2, I do think Apple is going to win.
All right, so lots of confidence in Apple around here, yeah? All right.
Another tricky game.
Zach versus Omar. I think that these teams are pretty well matched. According to predictions, at least, these 2 teams are within 6 points, and I can see this being a pretty close game. However, I like Omar's team a little bit more. Like I said before, I'm not huge on Zach's team, but that's okay. There's always trades. There's always waiver wires. Who knows how this is going to go. I am picking Omar, though.
I think Omar wins this week. Barely. I can definitely see Zach's team. I think Brady's going to play better. I think Mooney's going to play better.
Yeah.
Dobbins might come back. I don't know. It's going to be a close game. I'm going to just say Omar for now just because he's higher in the rankings. But
Omar.
Not that I don't have confidence in Omar's team. I do think it is going to be a very close game, but I'm going to side with Zach. I think
Not
Zach is going to
surprising.
pull out
Not
his first
surprising.
win. Yeah. I think that Hill is a great receiver. I think that Jonathan Taylor is going to do amazing. I don't know too much about Dobbins. I don't think I've ever actually played him, but I know that Waller is great. I think that Tom Brady is going to have like a pretty average game, but I think Zach's going to pull a win. I do think it's going to be close, but I think Zach's going to pull it off.
That's
very
good.
reasonable.
That's good. Zach needs some shooters in his corner, so we got
You're
one.
welcome, bud.
So going into week 2, guys, we're evolving. Each week we're coming up with new ideas, new topics, and new things to talk about. And for week 2, we've come up with Bitchin' Hour. What we mean by Bitchin' Hour is we're just going to get some feelings off our chest. We're going to talk some trash, don't get offended. Some of your names will be called out. Just take it on the chin. So, yeah.
You want to kick it off? You want to start with the first bitch?
This is very recent news. Tatani, you just dropped Brandon Ayuk for Robbie Anderson, the most inconsistent wide receiver in the league, with the most inconsistent quarterback in the league. Congrats, buddy. You just dropped a rising wide receiver on a promising team and a promising quarterback. You just played yourself. And as we say in the chat, this is why you are the king of the consolation bracket.
He is the king. Yes, absolutely. Also, Tatani, don't offer me shitty trades this year. I get them every year. I don't want your shitty players. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service, but yeah, you're at
Yes.
fantasy. A little peek behind the curtain. It is 1:35 in the morning on Wednesday morning, and waivers just went through. So this is why we have the bitching hour, and we have Tatani's awful transaction in this segment.
I'm mad that Scott hasn't blown up in the chat yet when he almost lost last week. I actually, unfortunately, I look forward to it every year. I look forward to him complaining about how dog shit his team is when it's not dog shit. He has a good team every year, and he complains every single year that his team is ass and he fucking hates it and he's gonna kill himself and all this kind of stuff. And
We want you to say that.
I don't want him to do it, obviously.
Coach Scott is the best Scott.
It's so fun. It's so much fun. I look forward to it every year. It was a close game between Scott and Devin. I didn't know who was going to win. And I was so goddamn excited to see some bullshit screwing in, spewing in the chat. And I didn't get it. I got nothing. I got blue balled. I didn't get anything.
He's really
not even
keeping
a
it from
sprinkle.
us.
Not even a little. Damn it. Nothing. He's been silent.
Guys, our chat last year was very exciting, very funny. Please say something. Please don't make me. If it gets to this point, and I've been keeping it humble right now, if I continue winning, I'm gonna start talking shit.
I hope you do.
So please, guys, please start.
I want to
saying stuff.
ruin some friendships here. I want to
Yes.
see some shit in that chat. I want to see people blow up. I want to see people stop talking to each other.
We like toxic over here.
I love it. I live for the drama. I love it. I am a hater through and through.
All right, Dev.
That was not the plan. I just want to complain about my team because that's what I know, that's what I love, and that's what I'm disappointed in.
Stop being cordial.
I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. My team should be the number one team in this league. We have the number one quarterback. We have the number one tight end. We have the number one, potentially, running back in Austin Eckler. Gabe Davis should be the number one on that team. Stephon Diggs can take a hike. He's done. He's washed. It's over. Get Gabe Davis in the game, and we will see a whole new level to this Bills team. This should be the number one team in the league. I don't care what you guys say. It's me. I need to go back to the championship. I need to win because my frail ego cannot take anything less.
For 20 years, Bill Belichick was the best player or the best coach in the league. And, he won 7 Super Bowls. You won 2 league championships.
2 championships.
And you were a dynasty. I think you're starting to go a little Jerry Jones here. I think you're starting to go a little haywire. And I don't think you had a great draft. And we're going to say this on camera right now. I don't think you had the best draft, buddy. I think
Not
you
the
slipped.
best.
I think you slipped. I think you slipped up a little
I
bit.
think you had a good draft.
think-
I don't know everybody on your team. I don't know who all those people
A
are.
lot of nobodies
There's a
on your
reason
team.
for that. There's a reason for that.
See, I don't know. I think
picked
you pick
the next
people-
generation.
See, I think you think that.
I know
I
that.
really
I
do
know
think you
that.
think that. And I know I have never placed above Devin. Devin has placed above me every single year. It hurts my ego every single year. It makes me feel less than, and I don't like it. However, I think this is my year. I think this is the year that I at least place above him. I don't have to win. I need Devin to lose.
It's not gonna happen.
I don't believe you.
I also want to point something else here. I'm a bitch about Apple. It's not a blinding bitch here. I'm gonna just say you're a hoe for hoarding all these running backs for trade bait. I know that's exactly what you're doing. You have 6 running backs and you're using that for trade bait.
And all these rookies. He's picking up a ton of really young players that maybe hurt.
And it's our fault.
And it's
you know
just-
what? It's our fault. We're not doing too well on picking up play.
All of your waivers from week 1 are guys that I wanted or I was looking at, but you got to them earlier. You got Jameson Williams. That's who I wanted. You got Romeo Dubs. I also wanted him. Jahan Dotson. I love him on the Commanders.
Me too.
However, I already have a bunch of young players, so I wasn't able to get them before you snagged them up. And I resent you for that, Apple.
I'm not a bitch, but I'm I'm impressed with Apple this year. And it pisses me off. It pisses me off. Apple, I want you to lose. I want you to be ground into the dirt. However, your team is really good. I'm so fucking angry over it. I am so angry. I don't want you to succeed. Point blank, don't want you to. I don't want you to lose. I don't want him to get 10th. But I don't want him to. I don't want him to get
you want to
hurt.
shoot him with a real gun, not a
I
paintball
do
gun.
not. I don't.
Sounds like you're getting a bullet to the ass.
I think I'm just. It was unexpected, Apple. I'm so sorry. I can't speak from like I got 7th last year. I did not do well last year, and I know that. I know I'm not knows everything about fantasy. I don't know who most of these people play for. I don't know what team most of these people are on. However, I am very impressed with Apple's team,
And
it pisses me off.
I'm gonna hop back on the Tawny's back. Going back to Robbie Anderson.
You already heard him.
No, going back to Robbie Anderson over Duvernay and Jarvis Landry. These are the kind of moves that screw you yearly.
That take you out of the playoffs.
Yes, these are the kind of moves that you just don't see, and you just don't realize it until it's too late. Those are two guys that I would have easily picked over Robbie Anderson in that situation if you wanted to drop IU because you have Debo already. I understand that.
Oh, congratulations on your powerlifting thing, too.
Oh, congratulations.
pretty
That was
cool.
a really
Congrats.
good video to
Good
watch.
job, buddy.
Congrats.
It was. I
Anyway,
really liked it.
Eric, you were so good before. What happened, man? You need to get back to your spot. You need to get up to top 3. I'm a bad team now. That's not you. Get better or else you're out of the league.
That's not true. We've
Eric,
kept bad teams.
I
for a
roll
while.
with an iron fist.
Eric, how does it feel that Apple is officially taking your spot as the new top 3 in this league?
Go ahead, answer.
We'll wait.
Okay, too late. Your team is not great right now. Just as you know,
It's
I'm
less.
sure.
It's less than not great.
As we know, as we have put you at number 9. You were very close to number 10. Don't feel confident right now. You deserve to feel less than. You deserve to feel like you're not worthy of a spot because your team is not worthy of a spot.
Once, at least.
Get better, Eric.
Scott,
I like Scott's team. He's fine.
no, Scott, stop.
Scott's team is not fine. Change your name, Scott. Change your name.
That is an issue I have. I have a huge issue. Change your goddamn name. Thielen, when you have Adam Thielen.
Thank you.
Scott, you're great with puns. You are dad jokes 101. Like, change your fucking name.
You can be better. We know it. Get better. Start talking shit in the chat.
And,
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Be yourself, man.
and Scott, stop hitting the number 1 team in the league for advice. Make your own decisions. Put it out there in the chat, Scott.
Yeah. Show off your dirty laundry. Let us hear your inner monologue.
Make your
Let
own
us
decisions.
hear what you think.
Don't overthink things. And you'll be fine.
I know that you were breaking down over this last game. I know there was something there.
I know you almost got sucked up in a loss. You get it? The suck up, because suck
Yes,
up almost.
you should have gotten sucked up in a loss. You got lucky week 1. I'll meet you again. You're going down, buddy. And that was Bitchin' Hour. So thanks for joining us. Next up is the weekly contest. Last week we had Hot Start, which was the highest overall team score by the starters. And we had Matt Gifford win the first one, 164.12. His team outscored everybody, and he gets the $5 this week. Congratulations. Week 2 is 0 to 0, the biggest negative team point differential from week 1 to week 2. Who will win it? We'll just have to find out in a couple days. Thank you for joining for week 2 of the BDE Fantasy League podcast. Thank you, Brittany, for
Thank
joining.
you for having me.
Our first guest.
Our first guest.
Yes.
I hope to see many of the other people in the league join us.
If they are still our friends at by that point.
Right. If you would like to come in and be part of this, please let me know. We will have you sit right here in the middle, and you will be able to talk all your shit.
How you feel? Because we don't know how you guys feel.
No, nobody is as vocal as us, and it is irritating.
Yes.
Be part of the next bitching hour by just saying, hey, I want to be on it. Let us know.
And as always, stay on your toes. See you in week 3.
We'll see you next week.